Hey everyone, welcome to Project DIY with Dana, and today's project I am going to be making an outdoor sign using a piece of barnwood and a few other things which I'll show you. It's really easy. The barnwood that I found, that actually was about 12 bucks, and I like using things that kind of have a little bit of a story. I don't really know what the story is with this piece, but it's gorgeous. I love it. It's heavy duty, and it's perfect for what I want it for. So let me show you some of the other stuff that you'll need. You're going to need a drill. Let me just grab it. You can't exactly see it. One of these. Neat. And obviously you're going to want your drill bit. What I plan to do is hang it on the side of my house. And in order to hang it, you must drill holes into it, which I will show you that as well when we get to it. The next thing, I am going to be stenciling onto my barnwood, which I'll show you those too here in a moment. I picked these paints. This is Waverly Inspirations. It's chalk paint, and this is the cashew. And this one is red. Crimson. There you go. Neat. And then I have like a few other little things, like little stars that I'm going to put on there just to embellish it a little bit. And in order to hang it, like I said, obviously you got to drill your holes. I'm going to be using, believe it or not, jute cord. And what I end up doing is I kind of double it so that it's a little bit more stronger, whenever you're hanging it. So anyway, stencils. The easiest way that I have found for me personally to stencil on anything is to just simply print it out. It's extremely inexpensive. The only thing that I would say is it's very tedious. So what you're going to need to do that is your X-Acto knife and a printer and a computer, obviously. So for mine, my last name is long, so I'm going to stencil on an L. And then over top of that, I'm going to stencil on these, the longs. And the L, I used the Cambria, and that is actually at a 700 size font. And then this one is Edwardian script, and that is at 500. So instead of boring you with these, I went ahead and I just cut mine all out already. So now I'm going to tape them on there, and I'll show you how that looks. Alright, so I started with the L. Obviously, that's going to be my first thing that I want to paint, because when I attach the other stencils on, I don't want the paint to mix and end up getting ugly. So here's how it looks with the L. Ta-da! So here, we'll go ahead and paint it. And like I said, I chose cashew and crimson as my color choice for basically the L. I like to decorate outside with a lot of red flowers, red everything. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start with my cashew color. And all you do is I take my time, because as I said in a previous video, if you put too much paint on with the paper, it's going to get kind of smushy and could really ruin what you started doing. So you just kind of lift that. There you go. So you're just going to go like this, real gently. I just sort of move in all directions just to try to make sure I'm getting it all on there. It's always one of my favorite things is to see how it ends up turning out. That's kind of why I like using like things like barnwood and stuff like that, because it has such a cool texture that it actually adds so much more to what you're actually trying to do with it. It looks so neat. Boring. I'm just about done with the cashew color. Okay. This is what I ended up with. See, I can hardly even see it, but it's all the cashew color. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of blot on the crimson color over top of it just to make it pop a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm doing it real light because I don't want it to turn pink. And I'm not patient enough to let this dry. So. Show you how I got that. And there it is with a little bit of the red. What I think I'm going to end up doing as well is kind of outlining the L in the jute cord stuff. I did that with another project of mine and it looked so pretty. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break and let this dry, and then I will be back to do the rest of the stenciling. And goodbye. Okay, so now I have the longs taped on here. That is also a pain in the butt because you want to try to make sure you have all of your spots that could kind of hang out a little bit taped down as well, but that's how it ended up looking. So now I'm going to paint, and I will not bore you with that part again. So I'm going to paint and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I am done with painting, and this is how it turned out. Woohoo! Fancy. Very pretty. So at this point, what I want to do is kind of fill in any open space like this section here. So I'm going to scrounge around and see if I can find some flowers, especially since this is for outside on my deck. And I think I'm going to add my burlap bow stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how that turned out. Okay, and bye again. Okay, now I'm ready to make my bow. I actually just got back from Dollar General because it's the closest store. And I went there to see if I could find flowers and glue sticks, and ended up getting a new glue gun. Neat. And the cool thing was the flowers I found, they were $1 for each of these little bundles. And I'm going to end up cutting them off of the stems, so I'm not going to leave them on the stems looking tacky and weird. So anyway, on to the bow. I am going to be using probably what I have left of my burlap. So I know in a previous video I had explained and showed how I make my bows. So I'll show you again. All you do is you fold it in half, and since I'm using what I have left, it's going to be a pretty big bow, which I want for my sign, because my sign's really big. See, there it is. Okay, so then you're just going to fold down like this, and then do it again. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's see, I might be able to get a couple more. Yep. Nope. Okay, I have to start over. All right. There's one. I wanted this one to kind of be even. The first one that I did in my wreath video, it was just real little and didn't, I didn't need it to be big. But this one, I want it to actually look like a legitimate bow. Okay. So, what you're then going to need is the jute cord. Woohoo! So, I'm just going to tie it up right here where it comes together. Do that super quickly. Tie it real tight. But just like that. Then the next thing I want to do, because I want it to kind of actually resemble a bow, I am going to tie it this way too. So I have another piece of this. You don't have to. I think it would just kind of flatten out anyway, but that's what I'm going to do. So, tie that. There's that one, and then my next step, I'm going to kind of puff these out. Look at that. It's really easy, but now I have to go buy more burlap, so I guess I should have just made the big trip anyway. So here is what my bow looks like. So now I am going to actually take some flowers and attach it like the whole way down. So I'm going to sit that off to the side. I'm waiting on my glue gun. Excellent. So let's go ahead and snip some of these off. Where are my scissors? They're hiding. I set the bow right on them. Okay, so I'm just going to snip it at about right here. Maybe. Okay, just about. Okay, pain in the butt. Okay, so I have one, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut these all off. Oh my God. Don't be fooled, there's actually wire in there. It's a pain. Okay, that one is snapped off. Okay, so we'll just start with these two. So yeah, you have these. Now what I am planning on doing is I want them in there like that. So, get my glue. Woohoo! Get a good bit. I'm just going to smush it in. Like that. Okay, get my next one, just to kind of fill it in. All right, and at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and finish decorating my bow, and whenever I have that done, I will show you how that turned out. All right. Okay, so this is how my sign turned out. First of all, I personally love it. This is my bow. As you can see, I attached more of the flowers. I just kind of had them randomly placed on the bottom part of the bow. And then all I did to get the bow to stay on the sign was I just used hot glue. And then I added some other flowers here and there. The other thing that I did end up doing was going back and using the twine, jute, whatever, and outlined the big L here. That's a pain in the ass, but I like it. That's fine. Added a little bow here. And then when I was done with that, I decided rather than overloading the sign with a bunch of stuff, that it was time to just drill the holes and add the twine so I can hang it. So I drilled my holes here and here, and I just used twine and I doubled it as I entered it through the holes. So that way it makes it much more stronger to hang. I think I'm going to give it a day or two and then just kind of look at it again. I might add a few more flowers, who knows, but that is exactly how you can take a really old piece of wood, barnwood, plywood, whatever you want to use, and you can make your own sign. You don't have to go to these craft stores and, pay out the ass for signs that are already pre-made. Just make your own. It takes the time to basically find the wood, which is easy, and then just cutting out your stencils, which is a pain, but worth it whenever you see that it's done. And then it's yours, and you can make those for gifts too. How about that? Yeah, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. I have a lot of other projects that I'm going to be doing here in the next few weeks, so I'm really excited about those. Everything I do is really easy and simple, and pretty much cost effective, so it's worth it. It's worth taking the time to do it. I love it, and if you're watching this, then that must mean you kind of like doing it too. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you in my next project. Bye!